Hey,
Good evening, Boomers. We are live. We have been live for the last probably 20 minutes, but realised that we weren't actually broadcasting to Cannon Fodder TV. So here we are, uh, North London Derby preview. Yeah, we have been talking briefly about kind of what it meant, or certainly means to us fans. And yeah, I'm joined by Richard. And yeah, we are going to go over the game and what we expect from the game. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. Richard, yeah, we're talking about how these games are guided by turf. Normally, the home team normally takes advantage and takes the 3 points. There has been a couple of years. I think 2019 ended up being two draws, and I think it then happened again in 2016 before that. So yeah, it's been one of those where it's kind of been obviously a lot tighter than previously. Remember the 5-2s, the good wins, and the years going through seeing Thierry Henry run the show. Um, but yeah, we know they've got closer to us, and to be honest, because we have stagnated slightly in how we were, they have been able to get closer to us, and these games are a lot tighter than they once were. So yeah, Richard, your thoughts going into this game?
well, yeah, I mean, as I said previously, you don't want to lose this one as a fan, uh, and take a draw. You can't disrespect Spurs. They at this moment with the manager they got and the team they've got, you've got to respect them. So saying that, I don't think they've been playing well, and at home, the way we've been playing, we should get a result. It's just we've got to be respectful of what they do, which is hit you on the counter. And if we're defensively solid, take the chances we create. It should be it. It should be our game. It's our to lose. Uh, the only things you've got to look at is who have we got available to play, especially looking at will be fit. Uh, and then your semantics of whether you're playing Tierney or Zinchenko or Tomiyasu and Ben White. They're the big decisions that Arteta has to get. But I'd put our front three against their front three anytime. And I think we've probably got a better back four than they have.
Yeah, it's going to
Uh,
be it's going to
I
be
mean,
a fascinating thing.
yeah,
Just to see,
I'm
just to
looking
see
forward
how,
to it.
just to see how we set up against them, and we know it is going to be a tough game. You know they're going to come with a lot of confidence, born from previous games, and yeah, we've got to kind of get that little monkey off the back and just kind of just really get stuck into them this year. And we don't want to obviously go on about that game at the end of the season. It was a freak game, I think in a way, and how the way it went. But I look at it and I just think, yeah, it's a lot's changed from that game. Certainly last season, and the mentality of the team can only mean probably a better performance. I would say most everything. I think everything's going to be a lot more, or sorry, less chaotic as it was. Certainly at the Tottenham's ground last season. So yeah, you saw it was just carnage, wasn't it? Right from the start. I expect it to still be a very high tempo game, but yeah, I don't think we're going to get caught and sucker punched like we did last season. I think with Saliba playing the way he is, and just in general the defensive unit, even with midfield, we seem a lot more secure and a lot more stable and a little bit more mature, I would say, on there. So yeah, as I say, I think it reverts to time being at home in these games, and yeah, it's a well known thing, isn't it? We'd say with these derby games, form counts for nothing. But yeah, it is bragging rights. It is it's everything like that. No one wants to lose. Yeah, either side. But yeah, more often than not, it is the team at home that does come away with the spoils and does it there. But yeah, we do have to look at our performances and how we've done at the start of the season. And yeah, I still see about the or just the well, the celebration police still out and about, and they don't like to see Arsenal fans celebrating or doing anything. And yeah, you'd say, oh yeah, well you've only played teams that you expect to beat. Well, to be honest, you've got to beat who's in front of you, and there'll be times where we wouldn't win
Well,
games. We wouldn't pick up
well,
the points.
why aren't they saying that about Tottenham? I mean, Tottenham have only played Chelsea, so the
Yeah.
other teams aren't top six. So where's the criticism of them? So and Liverpool have done poorly against Fulham and Crystal Palace, and teams we beat, they didn't beat. So it's
Yeah, I think there's got to be credit
you've got
given,
to ask
and
yourself where's the consistency.
that's something that we've struggled with for quite a number of years, where we've not been able to string 5-6 games on a spin, and keep it going, because yeah, 6 wins out of 7, and you look at it like that, and you just suddenly think, well, yeah, get the points on the board, but yeah, like I say, we've not been able to do that for a long time, no matter who you play.
And it's nice to come back after that United win and win again.
Yeah,
I, I actually think the Brentford game suited us better than if we actually played Everton, because Everton weren't in a very strong position at the time, and I think playing a team that we knew are physically tough actually helped us better than maybe having that next game up as Everton.
Yeah, see, I looked at it and I was a bit disappointed about that, playing Everton, because obviously I wanted them to go back to the Emirates, and I knew that the crowd would be absolutely buzzing, and that atmosphere alone, I think, would help the players get back into that kind of that rhythm again, and yeah, and just get back going again. And I think yeah, it's frustrating that it's now going to mean that game probably goes back into I think January. I think it is when we then play them. So
Yeah, I think
it's going to make that a real
January.
congested time. So yeah, it's like I say, I get nerves always come out on Derby Day. You get the good nerves, you get the bad nerves, and yeah, you kind of almost you're so excited for that game to come along, but then when that game day hits, you're a little bit, gee, yeah, I don't know what to expect. Yeah, what team's going to turn up, and it's like that a little bit, and I suppose that's quite a majority of fans, and yeah, it's gone from a little bit more of a real positive. I'm always still positive on Arsenal getting a result in these games, but yeah, not as clear as what it used to be. What do you think? Yeah, do you get
Yeah.
nervy, or do you?
Well, yeah, I think you've got to. It is what teams are we going to have out, and what thing. Is he going to go with Sinchenko or Tierney? Will Party be fit enough to play? Will it be Tomiyasu or White? Will it be Odegaard or or Vieira. But that's they're nice. They're nice issues to have. I think Reece Nelson is back fit as well, so there's a chance he'll be on the bench. So we're just starting to get players back. I think the only long-term injury we have is El Neni, so which will be good. They're nice problems to have. Probably not if you are better, but it is for us as fans. I mean, you've got options there, which is what we didn't. Brentford, we didn't. Once you got past Lokonga, Holding, and I can't remember who it was. Holding, Lokonga, and Turner, wasn't it? The three senior and it was three senior players, and then there was a load, and then Ketcher, and then a load of youngsters. Once you now you're going to have sort of most of your senior squad there, so you're not going to. The depth is better, and that's where I think will be important. I mean, I'd like to see Zinchenko play over Tierney, not because I think Zinchenko's better, but what Zinchenko does is go into that midfield, and he's better. He's better in that inverted than Tierney, and I think what Spurs have, which would be my only concern, is Bentancur and Højbjerg, those two players in that central midfield area. They're tenacious and will hound. So having an extra body in that area, I think, will help that.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a midfield battle, isn't it?
Yeah, I think maybe the only change I'd do is say, right, because the left side's not as defensively strong, I'm going to drop Tomiyasu in for White, just to have one side a little stronger than the other, and then you'll, because Tomiyasu can deal with Son or Richarlison all day long, and he get forward even if he's, and that just means that they haven't got two areas they can target. Whereas with White, I like him, and he's been defensively sound, but he also likes to invert, and that can leave us a little on those flanks. So that would be that's where I want to see what he does in those two positions. I think everything else pretty much picks itself. It's only those really. Do you have Zinchenko or Tierney, or do you have Tommy and do you have Tomiyasu over White? I think Odegaard comes straight back in because he's a captain and he's done nothing wrong. The only reason he was out was he picked up a niggle. So a bit hard on Vieira, but you've had 2 games. You haven't played badly, but you're still getting up to speed. So and he's a good option to bring off the bench, especially if it's tight, because the difference with him is he prefers shooting from range. He will take the shot on from range, where Odegaard prefers to try and get one more pass in and be a little bit more intricate. So it might be that we need Vieira to come on late on just to sort of pepper that goal and make it a bit interesting. Spurs wise, I don't think there'll be any surprises in the team. The only question for me would be is Richarlison going to start over Son? And the fact that Son scored a hat trick last time, I think Richarlison will revert back to the bench, and you'll see Kulusevski, Kane, Son, and the rest of the team pretty much picks itself apart from injury.
Yeah, no, I'm still questioning. It's been it's been. I'm just going to go into chat before I go on and just confirm we are live on YouTube. Certainly, so we know we're live. Thanks for staying in there, guys and girls. So no, it's good. It just made us look like we were talking to ourselves, but it was all good fun. Follow David. Arsenal win. And the English Conversation Club. Evening, fellas. Thank you for the massive donation as well.
Wow, yeah, it's good.
Really, really good. We'll follow that up with: should we be worried about Thomas Partey? And it has been that's been a question that we've been asking for 2 years now, or certainly 18 months, where fitness is being questioned massively, and the fact whether or not he can deal with the rigors of the Premier League, and certainly in long moments. So I'm talking 10, 11, 12 games and keeping fit. And it's looking like no. He's like I say, he had a brilliant record in Spain, and we always talk about the difference between Spain and in the Premier League, and you look at it and you think, well, there is a big difference. There is a massive kind of intensity kind of difference. It's a bit more technical, probably in Spain, a little bit slower on that side, but the tenacity of Premier League football maybe just be that little bit too much. I don't know. It just seems that he's just going into this kind of spiral where he's always picking up these little niggles, and it is really it's frustrating. I think. I suppose it's frustrating for him. Obviously, there's other things that are going on as well with him as well, which we're not too savvy about. We can't comment really on it. But you don't know how much of that is potentially motivated by that. And these injuries aren't actually as bad as what they are made out, but he may be kept out because of other things. But the easiest way to do it is maybe there's an injury. I don't know if that's how it is. I would guess that there's still an injury there.
I think it was. I think this time he felt something with his knee, and they withdrew him as a precaution. So it's not the hamstring again, but I think we've mentioned this before. I've had discussions with physios before, and when you get a torn hamstring and it mends, there's scar tissue left, and it increases the likelihood that you'll get another hamstring injury in the place because the scarring it's not that area of the muscle isn't as strong as it used to be.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I haven't seen anything concrete. Just the stuff from what Garner put out. That it was a knee injury and drawn as a precaution. So, and I think they've sending him back to us just so that the local team can have a look and assess themselves and get him back into recovery mode. But we won't know until we hear from Arteta, and he's had feedback from me. I mean, I think it's just one of those things. Tougher league, the demands on the physical side are higher. We're faster, more physical than any of the other leagues out there, and there are players that suffer from that coming from other leagues. You've got to adapt to it, and I think the other thing with Partey is that he's a player that wants to play. So he will say, "I'm back. I'm ready."
Yeah,
And to be honest, uh, I think it's the same with Tierney. And but now with Tierney, we can say, "Hang on, Kieran, it's not a problem. Take your time. Make sure you're fully because we've got cover for you." Whereas with Party, we don't really have that luxury, do we? I think if we can get another player in there, uh, uh, that we get drop off, uh, we can say, "We know you're eager, Thomas, but just hold your horses. Give yourself another week or so, and we'll ease you back in." But at the moment, we can't afford to do that because he's he's our best and most experienced player in that position.
that's it.
And
You've seen when
yeah,
he's
and
come back,
that's
hasn't he? And he's broke
yeah,
down.
you know, it's the difference
And it
between
was Tottenham,
Brentford
wasn't it,
and
as well?
uh,
It seems to be that kind of
yeah,
that fixture, which where he kind of announces his comeback. He comes back in and then breaks down, and that famous one where they scored and he was off the pitch, and Arteta tried to push him back on the pitch to carry on, but obviously he was gone. He was cooked. So
yeah,
yeah, it's one of those. It's yeah, you do want to play, but then also you got to have that little bit of honesty about things and say, yeah, yeah, I'm not ready, and you've got to have that sense of realism because the last thing you want to do is actually aggravate it further, and then you find out that it's even worse, which has happened. So yeah, definitely worried about Party, and certainly January would really be ringing my kind of like first, second priority signing. Yeah, I'd be literally be ringing saying we need to get support for him in that kind of CDM and basically give that cover because we can't do with a period where we haven't actually got a real proper specialised player coming in for him. So yeah, definitely. Good question, Conversation Club. And I'm going to just follow it on with, the super chat there. Is it time for Mikel Arteta to come up with Fergie excuses and not send players on international duty? Yeah, I've got a good response for that myself. But Richard, what do you think?
yeah. I'd like to see. I'd like to see us. I'd like to see us to say to Garner, we're not sending him. He's just come back from injury. He's not fully fit, so he's not going. We're not going to risk him injury. And I'd like to see with Odegaard, he's not fit. He's got an issue. We'd rather rehabilitate him here, and you can have him uh, if the squad gets together during the World Cup because he's not going to a World Cup, but they might get together and have some team meetups, mightn't they? So while the World Cup's on, so I'd say just no for those. I'd like to see them say if there's a doubt, don't send them and say sorry, they're not fit.
Yeah, no, I think basically players do have, or certainly hold all the cards in this. Obviously, if certainly on the build up to a World Cup, a manager turns around and says no, they're not going or not allowed to go. Does that create problems with regards to the player, thinking that maybe he's affecting my chances of maybe say going to a World Cup or doing this or doing that? My other thing would be that there obviously is big issues with regards to FIFA and UEFA. Obviously, FIFA competitions, obviously being a global kind of brand, and certainly those kind of UEFA bodies. Obviously, if someone refuses to send players, that's a no-no from them, from their side. For those international sides, you can't hold players back, and you're not allowed to do it. Um, so I would probably say that there needs to be some rule in place now because time has changed massively from Alex
There should
Ferguson days.
There should
And
be a compensation package, shouldn't there? If a player goes away with their country and
there
then is
used to
out,
be, yeah,
yeah,
there used to be something like that. And when you look at it and you think, well, if this player hasn't played, say, I would say over the last month, if he hasn't played, say, something like 50% of game time allocated because of injury and everything like that, then he shouldn't be able or should be ineligible to actually go and be picked to play for the country. Because, yeah, Partey's come back for one game and he's been selected to go and play against Brazil and potentially Nicaragua. So you look at it like that and you're thinking it's ludicrous in some ways, where suddenly a player's just come back. He probably is being managed by his club well as well, because there's obviously certain training that he needs to partake. And yeah, by going to a new setup, they don't probably know how to manage it. We may give instructions, we may say do this, do that, but are they really gonna to a T follow that? And how are you actually going to police it from a club perspective as well? So yeah, I think there's got to be more from the bodies, certainly to basically say no, they can't be they can't be chosen. And yeah, you could be a proper disciplinarian and say no, they're not being called up. But as I say, I think players now are, and he started getting more the player power when towards his latter parts of his career um, at United. So yeah, those kind of excuses and everything like that become less and less because of that player power. So yeah, totally get your conversation club. It's yeah, I think it should be taken out of the hands of a manager. I don't think it's right for any manager to kind of say and make that decision. It should be common sense, but that should be handled by the governing bodies, because yeah, they're to be the ones if they are giving out compensation and stuff for injuries, or someone has a real serious injury, internationals, then yeah, it's done on their watch and through the international countries as well. But yeah, they've got a duty as well. They've real got even the coaches for international level have got duties. I put in there as well Gareth Southgate, and we're talking about looking after Saka and getting that kind of managed, and he's out playing again all those minutes again for England when we know everything about him, and it needs to have that little rest and give someone else about it. So yeah, really good question. But
does the players' union? Yeah, I've got an add-on to it. Do you think the players' union should be standing up and saying, "Hang on, what about player welfare? Stop thinking of cow and getting on the cash cow that these meaningless friendlies. What about players well? When are you going to consider that?"
yeah, no, so it's all connected, and there's probably no right or wrong way in the end of the day. There does need to be something looked at with regards to the welfare. And like I say, if someone is being managed to get back to full fitness after being out, then yeah, needs to be done, and they need to be protected. But yeah, I think it's more to do with maybe say commercial things rather than like the good of players' health. So yeah, no, nice one, Conversation Club. Yeah, again, thanks for the donation to the channel. So yeah, really good. Um, we got someone being a bit naughty, clucking bell. He looks like he's gone. He looks like he's trying to go fishing somewhere, but he's going to find no fish here. But yeah, I'm not sure he's embarrassed Ben White too much. But yeah, he went. Yeah, he's been missing for quite a while. So yeah, let's if he needs to stop diving around and just and play acting and being Mr. Nice Guy, and yeah, not being the referee darling. But yeah, nice try clucking. Yeah, hopefully you'll be strangled as a chicken, or is it a pigeon? Did I get? Are they pigeon? Is it a pigeon on the ball or is it a chicken? The Tottenham. I don't know. Is it? What's on top of their
I'm not.
stadium?
I'm not sure.
Is it a squab? It's got
It's
to be a
some
squab, isn't it?
scrawny little bird, isn't
Yeah, it's a squab on a beach ball
Looks like
on top of the stadium, and it's pretty dented as well. So there you go. Thanks,
I didn't renew it, did I?
Clucking,
I
for the
just
comment.
repainted it.
Yeah, Ange says, yeah, if the women can, then the men should. I'm going to fit a reference of Arsenal winning. So, yeah, as I say,
Yeah.
put in the performance, then the result will come. But as I say, you've got to show big heart and big commitment to it. And yeah, if you give both of those, then yeah, the result will be there, and we certainly won't be in a negative way at the end of the game. Arnie Arnason, just give Spurs the ball. They'll not know what to do with him. Yeah, no, yeah, you can't disrespect them. They have been able to do bits, but as I say, they haven't really shone. They haven't really shown real good performances. But as I say, it's all about us when we haven't got the ball anyway. You know, they're going to have periods when they're going to have the ball, but it's making sure that we are solid, make sure we're compact, and stopping the space in between. Because yeah, we want to stop the runs in from Son and basically just going on the wings. And as I say, those little areas where the midfield kind of come forward and get ahead. How do we deal with that when we say looking to get the ball back and then look to play forward ourselves? And can we play in those kind of holes and into the space to actually then exploit them coming forward? Because yeah, they are going to probably sit back, they are going to soak up, and they're going to probably say, right, try and hit us on those little breaks and the little diagonal balls going across. But it's how we deal with that and how we focus as a team, as a unit. So yeah, definitely, it's definitely going to be an interesting game. Well, yeah, Alex has said, yeah, please subscribe to In the North Bank as well, my little channel. Yeah, share the content. Yeah, give us a follow, give us a donation, whatever. No, just yeah, really good to be good just to kind of interact with fellow fans. And yeah, I'll be hopefully trying to do more and more content as we go on. But yeah, time as a young dad and everything like that is a little bit hard. So yeah, I'll try and get as much as I can done as we can. But yeah, this show I'm loving doing. So yeah, no, it's really good interaction, and yeah, really pleased, and thanks for all your comments and positive feedback as well. It's really good. And Alex has reiterated it. Yeah, massive donation. Thank you, Conversation Club. And Kamai, what's up, Gooners? What a wonderful performance yesterday by our women's side. Remember, North London is red. Yeah, we kind of know that is. Yeah, that is the case. Yeah, then it might have been borrowed for maybe a couple of weeks, and yeah, Tottenham might have the trophy for finishing above Arsenal, but yeah, North London is red, and yeah, it's what we're going to go into in a moment about the ladies. But yeah, it's really nice to see. I'm going to go one last comment into the live chat. And Tide Gunnosaurus, yeah, how you doing, mate? Evening. Why are we always one or two players short? I think it's just bad luck. I think on this moment, we're just having those central midfielders being out at the same time. But we do look at it and we think, well, in essence, we've still got players. We've still got players to come in. We look at Vieira coming in, and yeah, with Sambi there as well. There are players there. It's just that we kind of are searching for another specialised kind of player, and the big end of it is basically we need two players for every position and every specialised position, and certain ones we've done that. But obviously, as part of this squad building, as part of growing that squad, yeah, there are going to be ones where they've not been able to be added yet, and yeah, we've done really well. So yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see. So yeah, what are your thoughts, Richard, on that?
I think I think yeah, on any injury was really unlucky, and that has put us in a position of being in that defensive midfield area. But if you look at a lot of our recent acquisitions, they're players that can play in two or three positions, and they can play in. They're not an Ainsley Maitland-Niles that jack of all trades, master of none. They actually can play in all those positions really well, and I'm expecting us to go in for another forward, but it'll be another forward that can play 4 or 5 positions across the front, rather than a specialist alternative to Jesus. Uh, and again, I think the only position we maybe need a specialist is the number 6. And will we go back in January for that? I think that will depend on how what the likelihood of our Nenny being fit and ready in January is, isn't it? If he's not going to be back ready to play until February, I think in early January we may go and revisit a number 6 or whether it's somebody else. But that is our weakest area at the moment. Even though Zinchenko could play there, White could play there, and you've got Lokonga, you don't really want to take those players out from the positions that they're in at the moment because they're playing well in those positions.
Yeah, no, I'd say we've certainly come a long way, and as a squad, and we know we've got youngsters just like Conversation Club said there, Balogun, Tavares, and Patino, all doing well away from Arsenal. Yeah, they are. But this is what we've kind of done with Saliba. There's always the conversation about would he have would he have done what he would be doing now if he probably didn't if he stayed at Arsenal? And you're suddenly thinking, would he have really got ahead of our pairing a season ago? With certainly Ben White and Gabriel. I'm not too sure. I certainly don't think he'd have as much game time as what he did for Marseille. And yeah, you want to
And I
give
think
the
that's the same with Patino, isn't it? Yeah.
it's
I mean,
massive difference there
we've
with
known
him.
Patino is yeah. I think we've known Patino is a talent all along. I think it was a look at it. Would he get enough game time this season for him to develop it even further? And they've said, no, let's get him to a championship club, get him that game time where he can develop and progress his game and play with men week in, week out, and then come back next season and he's going to be part of the squad, and he'll be ready to use for us next season.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, Tavares is will we be able to use Tavares in the system that Arteta is using? I'm not sure we can, because at Marseille he's not playing as left back, he's playing as left wing back, and yes, he's excelling there. But can he come back and play as left back?
That's
Or
it.
do
And I think it depends on if
yeah, or
how
do we
much
put him
Arteta
in
wants to play.
Martinelli's role?
Yeah, so if Arteta
Yeah,
wants to play a three at the back, and we don't really know if that's going to be an actual say plan B where we look at, say, switching formation, and that would be the only way that he maybe would get into a team at Arsenal, is by playing as wing back, because I don't think he's got the maturity to be a left back, and he's suited to go forward more. We've seen it. He's obviously scored a few goals, and gets forward, and we've seen it at Arsenal where he can get forward and make the runs. But Patino just he's totally green. He's totally young. He needs bulking up. And getting game time at a lower level will do him wonders. But I still imagine probably about another 2 or 3 loan moves for him, just to kind of bed him in and keep him going. But whether or not you would say he'd be coming into Arsenal and playing regularly, he's well off that. He's a great prospect, and certainly an exciting one to look at, but just not ready yet. Just physically, as well as probably mentally as well.
I mean, the good thing is that Blackpool, they've already got a song for him, haven't they? And he's only been there. It's 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, it goes to show. To say if he's going to put
2 weeks, they have a song for him.
Yeah, well, no, it'd be good to see him carry on and improve, because that's at the end of the day. This is why they go on.
I will plug George Bird. He for all your academy stuff and your younger academy players. His website is a place to go to get all your information, and he's at all the academy games and that. And he's a one to look for all the youngsters and all how they're doing. Yeah,
no, that's it. It's nice. I've seen a couple of his bits, but it's just I've been looking at the youth side, and certainly just been watching certainly the under 21s and the under 18s. It is nice to see who's kind of coming through. But as I say, it is very young in their careers, and we still talk about the one last week, and it's he's early, and the pelters that we get for even just doing that, and we know that it's been done before.
I think with that, I mean, we've got a contract, a scholarship signed, but that doesn't come in until 2024, I believe, because of his age.
Yeah,
but I think it's just reassuring that there is a pathway for you if you keep progressing the way you are. Will we see him again this season? Probably not, because I don't think unless we have a massive lot of injuries like we did again, the only places that you possibly see him is in the League Cups or FA Cup against the lower side, maybe if we were short and we wanted to give him a bit of experience, but I doubt it.
Yeah, that's it.
But he looked a beast, didn't he? I mean, for 15, he looked sort of 17, 18 size wise.
Yeah, then I'd say it's one of those where again, if you're good enough, then you're gonna get those chances. But he does look big. He does look good. Certainly for watching him in the under 21s, I was quite impressed with how he was as a player. And when you're suddenly thinking he's playing a pass with the outside of the ball, his foot straight through the defensive line of Tottenham, and assisted a goal, and really just good vision, certainly for a youngster, and he's obviously playing ahead of his years in that group. So it's nice, and I say it's good to see these players. In the end of the day, that's all what matters. And if you can see a pathway as a youngster coming into these kind of older groups and coming into the first team,
it also helps the other youngsters, doesn't it?
Yeah, what's the point of being somewhere where you're suddenly thinking, I'm never going to get anywhere near there, and it just it's a demotivation. But if there are good positive vibes coming from that academy, and there actually is a pathway for these children or children. These youngsters. Well, he is still a child, isn't he? 14, 15. So
Yeah.
technically he is.
Uh,
But
yeah.
yeah,
The
you've got
thing
to
with
have.
that quickly, Paul.
Go for it.
I know Jason. We seen the Jason Cundy tweets and that, and to a certain extent, he has a point. When do you say that's too young for him to be for a player to be introduced onto a pitch? When do you start having to protect him, because he's still a teenager, a boy? When is it too young for a debut?
I tell you what, though, he's not the youngest. And I was quite surprised, even more. Some of if there are any our Irish listeners, there was I think there was a boy turned in for is it Glentoven or but yeah,
Terry would know, wouldn't he? Terry Hogan.
Yeah, but even younger than this guy, and I think he was maybe only just 14 or maybe potentially 13. Which
well, this is my point. When
Irish,
is it too young?
Irish league, then potentially, you've got it. But as I say, if you're old enough, or sorry, if you're good enough, then there's always going to be that kind of moment where you know it's a physical game, you know there's contact, but again, I mean you've got to start somewhere. And as I say, you could be having games, and you could be playing in like an under 21s or whatever, or whatever under 18s, and you get caught on the wrong side of a challenge. It doesn't have to mean that you're going in for a 50-50 with like Duncan Ferguson or someone like that, where it's just like literally just a total mismatch. You get that anywhere. I just think there's just far too much made of it. And like I say, Liverpool done it, no problem. It's deemed a unbelievable kind of thing when they done it. This guy's a year younger, or just under a year younger, and it's like unbelievable. Arsenal have done this, but again, we're used to this. We're used to this kind of unbelievable kind of uproar when we do something. It is what it is. But as I say, I don't. It's nothing about egos. It's nothing about I want to be the manager to have brought in the youngest player. He's earned it. He's earned that little kind of that chance to kind of come on. I think he wanted to bring him on, but I think the ball didn't go out for about 4 or 5 minutes beforehand, and I think they had a corner or something. I think that when we were looking at making the sub, and the referee made the game carry on. So that's why he only got injury time. So so it is what it is, and but it does look future. The future does look bright for him. So I'm going to do this one. Do I know why Tomiyasu is coming back to the club, and is he injured? I've not really heard of if he's hurt or not. I'm hoping that it's again potentially if he is or has been injured in a match, or he's coming back just as a precaution. So we won't know. Again, we still don't know about Odegaard, how close he is. So we don't know until they report for training. They come through in midweek, and then we can go on. But I don't know. That's the answer there. No one knows until the assessments come out. But guys, just bear with us. We're gonna then go into our next big thing to discuss, and it's going to be an interesting one. So it's the Arsenal women. But just bear with us, and we'll come straight back after this. So little intro there. Thank you, Alex. That's a nice little creation. Arsenal ladies. So they made it 2 wins out of two. And yeah, it was a record attendance as well at the Emirates. I was quite gutted actually because I wanted to go to the game. I'm sure quite a few, well, I know quite a few of my Arsenal friends who I normally go with to the men's game were there as well. But I had a football match with my little one, so I couldn't make it. So yeah, so I was gutted that you didn't get a chance to kind of see it because it was good to have. It would be good to have just witnessed it and seen it. But I think we're riding a massive crest of a wave with the women's game now, and we're seeing left, right, and centre more and more backing for the women's game, and I think we all saw the efforts in the Euros, and obviously winning the competition, and yeah, it's brought that euphoric kind of feeling with the ladies, and yeah, I think it's resonant on Gooner's hearts as well because we have got such a good backing within the Arsenal squad for the England ladies. So yeah, for like Williamson and oh, it really it's nice, and you just look at these women and what they've done, what they've achieved there, and you take that result there. I'm sure everyone was watching it probably on BBC. I knew as soon as it was on BBC that I'll stick it on and watch it. But it was a good game. Did you manage to catch it, Richard?
Yeah, I watched it. So my wife was out shopping, and I put it on the TV, and I watched it. For me, what I find frustrating is that it's an international break, and they can put these on at decent times when. Yeah, we know as soon as we come back from international breaks, they're going to be pushed back into ridiculous time slots. And why? Because the game is brilliant, and I know Anne said in the chat she was going down to meet a Spurs friend who doesn't rate the Women's Super League. That the women's game has come on immensely. It is so good to watch, and you can't knock them. I mean, we broke the attendance record at 47,360 something yesterday. We had sold 50,000 plus tickets, but there were a few thousand that didn't turn up, of course, for whatever reason. But we've also, if we go to Ajax and beat and keep a clean sheet, then we set another record of 8 clean sheets as well, which is pretty good. So they're doing well, and you had Mead, you had Williamson, you had the fullback was also is an England regular, isn't it? And then Jordan Nobbs didn't make the England team, and then you've got other internationals in there. And I must admit that what impressed me was the control we had in that game. I mean, with Williamson and Souza and Little, that little triangle there in the middle of the park seemed to actually just control the game really well, and I can't really remember the keeper having any do of note. It was pretty quiet for us, so that shows how well controlled we were. It's just I think again, it's pretty much like there'd be a frustration there, a bit like with the men's team sometimes this season. We haven't put the chances enough of the chances away. Again, it could have been a bigger score line.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was pleasing to see them putting out a performance and certainly going into the game with a full crowd. And like you said, they do get put into weird times, and obviously going back to playing at other grounds that are obviously a lot smaller. Could they sell that many tickets more often than not?
I think they could.
Yeah, I don't.
I think. Come on! If you've got enough season ticket holders and make it a part of, you get willing to go if they, as long as it's at a decent time, and you can get it in on and get the scheduling right. There seems to be this thing. Oh, if we put it at X amount, you're competing with a men's game. But why can't you schedule it so that maybe it's not at 7:45 at night, but a more reasonable time.
Yeah, I think what they've got here is they've got a product now which they can really push towards young families, children, certainly young girls that will want to come and watch what they would term probably as their heroes. And you're suddenly thinking, you're now suddenly seeing this generation of girls playing a sport that they actually love or got involved because of seeing these players come to matches. And if they're coming to matches and they're being charged,
that was something that was picked up on yesterday.
Yeah,
that was something that was picked up on yesterday. Lee Judges was at the match, and he said he was sitting next to Tottenham fans, not in the crowd was intermixed, and there was no trouble, no nothing. So that's great. That's what you want, isn't it? I mean, and again, I think we saw it in the Euros that there wasn't any segregation. It was more of a fact that wasn't that hostility between the fans, which is quite nice to go, because if you're going with kids, you don't want that.
No, that's it. And when you look at being a family orientated kind of atmosphere and being able to come out, and you've got tickets for I think it was £8 or just under £8 or something for a ticket for that game. And if they're doing that regularly, even if they say it has been bandied about before about playing the games before, like the Premier League games, and you're suddenly thinking, well, could there be that kind of double header before the game, or if it's an early game, could they then play after the Arsenal game? Whether or not they still would have that kind of catchment of obviously people turning up for the men, but then suddenly after the game goes, do they just suddenly say, right, okay, I'm not going to stay for that one, I'm going to go down the pub or whatever? I think that's just a tribal kind of like movement of those fans. But that could just open up.
I don't know if you. Yeah, I mean, for years I've gone to, and I love going to the Emirates Cup games, and I know the wife said one year, why is no one here? Because we used to watch the first match, and then Arsenal you tended to be the second match on. And I said, because people don't come, mate. They just want to come and watch Arsenal. I said, but for me, I'm paying 27 quid. I'm getting 2 games. If I'm paying that sort of money and I'm getting to see 2 games, I'm going to see 2 games at that price. And I think you've got to have that mentality. I would love to see it. You have maybe a 12 kick off for men's, and then watch a 5 o'clock for the men's. If you're getting it for sort of 30, 40 quid, you're going to jump at that, aren't you? 2 games for 40 quid.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
especially when some of those top tier games are sort of 60 quid, aren't they? To get to some the bigger games to do against the Cities and the Uniteds and the tier A games. I think you can do it. You just have to sit down and want to. And this is the thing, isn't it?
That's it.
Do they really want to?
Yeah, well, that's again. But it is a different, and it's one of those where if you're lucky to be, or certainly have parents that can afford to take their children to the men's game, and actually, you know what I mean, just being able to take them and actually have them in that atmosphere to then say, right, okay, well, yeah, I want to actually stay for the next game or the game before, where you can roll up and you've then got the double header. It's not going to be everyone who wants to do it, so I think. The BBC have got a real good part to play as well. Sorry, I've got a lurgy. But the BBC taking on that role, and I think this is obviously born from, say, the Euros, where obviously they've had the kind of audiences, and they've got almost a position where they've got to broadcast this to as much of an audience as possible for free, and I think this is where that kind of thing comes, and it's almost taking the chalice of when normal football was before Sky was on. Like, you'd have the big match on ITV or anything like that, and it used to be free of charge, and everyone could watch it. I'm showing my age now, just to remember that, but
Yeah, I remember it too.
yeah. So, but it's you look at it like that, and you think, well, just for the women's game, I think it's just nice just to have that kind of ability to kind of screen to everyone, and yeah, just nice to see. And as I say, with the quality of what's going on, and yeah, there's been a massive bandwagon of other teams that weren't interested in the slightest of putting out a women's team. Yeah, your Tottenhams, your Man Uniteds, they've all been very recent. Same with City. A long way since what, 97 was it? Arsenal ladies, and they were battling out with
And West Ham were one
Doncaster
of the
Bell.
first ones as well.
The originals, yeah,
I think West
Doncaster
Ham were
Bells were
one
like, yeah. So they've come. It's come a long, long way, and it is really pleasing just to see. And again, they've taken lots of plaudits from what they've done, and they had that chance to kind of really kind of just get that crowd and soak up that atmosphere, and yeah, the goals going in, they'd never have experienced that before. So, well, apart from the Euros, they wouldn't have really expected those kind of numbers. Probably, what was the final was a sellout, wasn't it, at Wembley? So it was,
Yeah, it was.
yeah,
But they reckoned it was 90 odd thousand, didn't they?
yeah,
So I mean, it 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 had to. There didn't look many empty seats when I was watching it on the TV. It had to be nearly full capacity. So,
yeah. But no, it's yeah,
and and then what, their television audience as well. On top of that, I think they broke records for that. But it's now down to the authorities, those in charge, to make sure that they capitalise on that and give the young girls and the women's game that chance to go.
yeah, definitely. John the Gooner, evening, John. I hope you're well. Yeah, women's football's come full circle. Both the men and the women on top of their game at the minute. So yeah, no, yeah, riding high on both fronts. So yeah, really pleasing to see. And yeah, it was a great win for the women and a fantastic crowd. Yeah, just nice for say like the youngsters to really get in there and yeah, not really have the atmosphere that is associated with the normal kind of games. But yeah, look, yeah, been there, done that now, and yeah, they've shown. I think they've opened a pathway now where there is that potential now, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger. And the more sponsorships that come in, the more it's more likely that they are going to go into their own slot. Be it whether or not you end up finding that you've got a game on a Saturday and then you've got, say, like the men on a Sunday, or vice versa. If the men are playing on a Saturday, then they kind of play on the Sunday. How that works, certainly policing and obviously with the stadium and having people around for it, and yeah, whether or not that's viable, that's obviously down to the club. But certainly, I think that would be really good to see come in. So that's
We
good.
got a new we got a newbie in the house. Hi, Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny, thanks for joining. Yeah, please like and subscribe to Cannon Fodder as well as in the North Bank. And say, yeah, any questions, feel free to whack them on the chat. Be good to hear from you. Let's have a quick look.
Todd's got one as well. I think Todd's got a one about Tierney.
Yeah, just gonna go in there. Before that,
Was there one before that? Was
I've
it?
got a question. But I've gone a little bit wee, a little bit woo with the messages, and I've missed one a little bit earlier. Question for Richard: would Arsenal benefit from having David Dean back?
He's an Arsenal man through and through, and you've got to say when he was here on with Wenger, his influence in getting players in and getting those signings in did us well. Could he come back and could he do a role for us? I don't see why not. The man's a wealth of football experience, especially on transfers and that. You've got to be able to use it, regardless of what's gone on before. Bring him in, get him in, utilise him some way. He'd come back because he's an Arsenal man through and through.
Yeah, it's
If you
almost like
if
a
you
shame.
put the olive branch out and
It's a
said to him,
shame. It's a shame to see him not involved in football, and it also is a shame. I still think that Arsene Wenger, is involved in football, but not helping Arsenal.
yeah,
And
again, I
that,
think
that's
he's got
how I
a wealth
thought.
of experience.
Yeah, but my little take on that is that yeah, had David Dean stayed at Arsenal, would we be looking at ourselves as we are in a regressive way over the course of the from the stadium move to where we are now? I don't think that would have happened. I don't think he'd have stood for it. And yeah, he's put in his book about obviously apologising to Ashley Cole. Do you blame Ashley Cole? Probably no, probably not. Yeah, it's a big
Yeah, I
promotion.
mean, at the end of the day, you for that sort. If it was over that sort of money, that's if it had been for 40, 50,000 and upwards, there was a massive gap in what you were going to be paying him. Then I'd say, okay, but the gap between what Chelsea were offering him and what we were offering him wasn't much. We could have gone and said, right, we'll match.
Yeah, exactly. And you look at it and you think that there was probably flaws on both sides. And yeah, what he put in his book was a bit silly. But again, Arsenal get the job done at that time.
Yeah,
You had a future captain there, and look what he's gone on to achieve at Chelsea. And yeah, we did miss out on that. And yeah, if it was a case of that, you had to actually do it, and that was the only real blemish under his watch. And you look at it like that. Yeah, I'd obviously always had him at Arsenal. He is Mr. Arsenal to me, and yeah, and had we have actually had him, then I don't think we'd have been in this kind of proper lull where we've kind of really struggled and we've had to try and fight our way. And yeah, Project Reset. I don't think that would ever have happened. There would always have been a plan, and certainly, I can't see us having that real bad record with transfers with him in charge as well. I think there would have been a time where he just suddenly said, "Well, yeah, we've got to get rid of it," and yeah, just disappointing how it ended up. And yeah, I would love to see the door being open, but yeah, I think it's too late in the day now for him. He's how old is he now? Is he
Is he 70 something?
his 70s, late 70s, I think.
Yeah,
Mid
seven, I think
70s. Yeah,
77, 76,
yeah. So
something like
yeah,
that.
it's yeah, not still really a business to be in at that age. I think it's one of those where yeah, he's there, but he could have had some good years still at Arsenal. Had he not been well, he's been thrown under the bus, I think, and yeah, he's been yeah. Look at the get rich quick board members that have upped and left, and they kind of sold him out and didn't entertain what he wanted to bring to the table. And yeah, all of a sudden they then did the dirty and done the deed and sold their souls. So yeah, I'd have much rather have him than say the others that were still in the boardroom. So we are going to go to Tired Gunnosaurus. Why is Tierney out of the Scotland game? Do you know? I believe he had a head injury. I think that's what I heard. He got a
Yeah,
knock on got a bang on the head, and he got taken off
it
with
was
precaution.
precautionary rather than
Yeah,
anything serious.
I don't
It
think it's
was,
percussion, or percussion. No, it's nothing to do with music. It's yeah, no concussion. So yeah, I think it was just more precautionary over anything else. So yeah, I don't think there'll be any problems there. Yeah, John the Gooner. Hi Kenny, AFC Top Gooner. Like and subscribe. Interesting one, isn't it?
I'd like to see it.
Conversation Club. Do you think we'll ever see mixed teams, men playing with women?
I'd like to see it. I think it's a better idea than Bowley's All-Star team. I, I think it, I think there's something in there that you could uh, definitely.
Look, Soccer Aid have started doing it, haven't they?
Yeah,
So yeah,
I,
so it can be done, and it's almost quite good with regards to this kind of too young, and if you're too old, or like young playing against older ones as well, and you're suddenly thinking, yeah, is there a physicality mismatch? Yeah, you could. There's pros and cons over both sides, isn't there? So it's
yeah.
quite a good kind of way to look at it, and you think, well, yeah, they could do, but then yeah, if you're good enough and you don't
I
look
don't see
out of
why
touch,
not. I mean, it doesn't have to be a league thing. You do you get maybe an Arsenal mixed 11 against and do it for a Tottenham mixed 11 and do it for charity,
yeah,
for local charities.
there's options there, isn't there? And
Yeah,
and through the whole kind of this kind of big opening now for the women game, that opportunity and that discussion is probably being had. And yeah, I don't think you're too far off seeing it. As I say, if Soccer Aid's doing it now, give it a couple more years, there will be these little spin-off things where yeah, we're doing stuff for say local charities, and yeah, we're getting involved, and we're doing stuff like that. So yeah, I don't think it's too far fetched, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be competitive, but I certainly think yeah, there's some avenue for that, and I think it'd be good for fans as well, because they'll suddenly think it's something totally different, and yeah, something a little bit, yeah, just the unknown. So yeah, that's a good question. Oh, hello. Now we got tired Gunnosaurus. Now we now want us to become controversial. Would you sell Tomiyasu and Emil Smith Rowe? Richard?
I wouldn't say I'd tell me Asu, Emil, not yet. Yeah, I mean, he's had this groin issue for a while, and it's again very similar to Party and Tierney. When's enough? When do you go for somebody who can actually get on the pitch? Love Emil Smith Rowe, but you need to be playing. if you're not fit and available for the team, then you're no good for the team, are you? That's and that and then sentiment has to go out the door. It was the same with Diaby. I think Wenger kept him too long. It was a shame that he had that injury and then the knock on effect from that. But you can't be sentimental. Football's not a sentimental game. That's the reality. You've got it's about winning and getting the best team out there. And if you can get a decent money for them for one of them and get a decent replacement in, then do that. But only then. I think you give them a bit more time to prove themselves, but it's who's out there at the moment to replace them, isn't it? Who would you replace? I mean, Emmitt Smith Rowe had 10 goals last season. Where do you go and get a player who can come in and replicate that sort of output for us at the moment? I don't see anyone.
No, you're right, and I think I think it would be foolish to kind of look to be getting rid of anyone. Certainly at this time where we're looking to improve the level of our squad, and if we're thinking that by selling one of those two, it's going to improve our squad or the size of the squad, injuries or no injuries, then I would say no. We want to still get those players in, but I'd rather have those players in and around the squad when we've then got a 24, 25 man squad that everyone is at that given level and what is required.
I mean, I'd be saying Suarez and Holding are the top two to replace before you're even looking at Tomiyasu.
This is what I say about this. This is the squad depth, and we're talking about those players that had been moved on to other clubs like now in the summer. Yeah, they were those ones where you're suddenly saying, well, they're probably not at the level. But Holding and you look at Suarez, we do need, and this is why I talk about upgrades and upgrade being used too regularly. And we talk about Xhaka. We need an upgrade for Xhaka. Well, at the minute, Xhaka's probably playing one of the best game out of any of the Arsenal players in this team, in this current. He's putting in those performances that could be in the top 2 or 3 players. And you look at it like that, is what is termed an upgrade. And there's people talking, we get a player in, but then say 2-3 years he'll be able to then take over Xhaka.
But if you're doing that, if you're getting somebody in, why can't you use one of the? Is there somebody in the under 21s who can come in and mentor and be put into that position in the future? Is Lukonga really that ready-made Xhaka?
Well, again,
I mean, we got rid of Guendouzi, and we're because of the attitude, but he would have been ideal in that position. But I don't think Tielemans on current form is a better player than Xhaka. Since his last red card for us, Xhaka's been outstanding, and credit to Arteta. He's moved him forward to a position where he can play to his strengths and not have his weaknesses highlighted. And he's not had a red card. He's played some of the best football in his Arsenal career, and he's got assists, and he's looking a different type of player to what he was. Even to an extent where the fans are actually showing their appreciation for him now and saying you're back into the fold. Maybe not.
I think that says maybe a lot.
Maybe there's not everyone. Maybe he's not forgiven him for that, and that's personal preference, but they're recognising that Xhaka at this time is a better playing better, doing is best for the team, and is in the better place.
But for him to have a song about him now, it's yeah. I mean, I think it goes to say that he has been forgiven. And look, we are sometimes heartless bunch. Being fans, we're very fickle. We jump on bandwagons, and we react very abruptly to things. But yeah, I'm quite pleased that I've kept a kind of level thing. I know what kind of player he is, and yeah, he's had his issues. Everyone knows that I've backed him and through other shows and everything like that, and some haven't. And yeah, I want to wash hands and just he shouldn't have done it. I can't forgive him. It's like, well, okay, it's one of those. But sometimes you have to, and you look at it and you think the performances he's put in.
Yeah, and again, you have to look at what was happening at that time as well, don't you? I mean, he was receiving abuse. His families was receiving abuse about, and that's you're crossing the line. You can boo a player and you can say you've had a bad game, but when you're taking it to a personal level and you're aiming rubbish at them and their families, you're overstepping a mark, and you don't. What do you expect? I mean, if that was me and you in the pub, you're more than likely just to go poof.
Well, that's again, if you're doing it, say at someone's house or anything like that, then you're going to react
You
similar.
expect to get one landed on you.
You're going to, you are. It's a natural reaction, and he is human. It shows it's a human reaction. You will defend yourself. You'll defend your family, and if your own fans are giving you pelters and it is turning personal and it is coming nasty, then what you are going to react to it, and. Yeah, he is human. But through his interviews and that, you'll actually see what it is like. So it is what it is, and I'm pleased that he's done it and he's carried on how he's doing, because he does deserve something back from us and from the fans.
And I think again you have to give Arteta the credit, because he was gone in the summer. He was looking at Roma, and Arteta's put her arm around him and said, I think there's still a place here for you. There's a way back," and he's been proven right.
Yeah, no, definitely. Right, I'm going to last go here. Rumours are Real Madrid want Saka. Do you think it's time to keep him or move him on and take 120 million asking price to look for more talent? We know there's loads of talk, and it's been.
Come on, Liverpool, City, any top team would want him. No, we keep him at the moment because there is no one we could replace him with at the moment. We haven't got, and I don't think there's anyone that I've seen out there that you could say, "Oh yeah, we sell him, we have that in, and we upgrade another position." That's probably the one position at the moment we haven't got. Other than number 6, that we haven't got a out and out like for like competition for in that position, and that. But I think we could still win titles with Saka in the team, and that's all he wants to see. He wants to be. He wants to be winning things. He wants to be in the Champions League. Do it this season. Arteta's already said, and he's already come out and said it's close. It's just little bits to sort out, So we're just waiting for them to get done. I don't think there's much here. I just think it's more about making sure that the club's ambition matches his, and then being rewarded for his performances. Come on, he's just got England player of the year, hasn't he? So over Kane and Declan Rice and that. So let's show him that what he's done, carrying the team the last 2 seasons. Let's show some appreciation. Let's give him a contract and match his ambition.
Yeah.
And I think we'll be safe here. And I think the same with Saliba. Saliba's one is slightly different. He just wants reassurances about his place in the team. And I think at the moment he's got that. So and I think he'll sign.
Yeah.
And then is it Martinelli as well we're working on?
Yeah, I think they'll be looking at all of these kind of players now and looking to tie down
I
long
don't think
term.
it'll be long.
No, but I look at Saka and I think he wants the reassurance, but then again he wants the Champions League, but obviously guiding on this season. At the end of and I think the contract offer's there for him. It's whether or not he wants to do it or not, and we don't know. We're not savvy on what's been said with agents and everything like that. What's he got? 18? Is it 18 months or is it 2 years that he's got? I don't know
I
if
think
he's.
it's 2 years,
Yeah.
nearly 2 years, isn't it?
So
I think it's just short of 20. I think it's about between 18 and 23, isn't it? So
yeah.
I'm not.
So he would be, it's all going to be dependent on what happens this year, and if we somehow don't make top four, then potential that we then suddenly look and say, well, okay, well, yeah, if you're not going to sign a contract, then there's something there where we've got to say, right, okay, we've got to get rid of him. So yeah, it won't be great, but as I say, we need to get it sorted and make sure we get value for the player. But who was the other one? Who was the other one with a contract?
Saliba
Saliba, yeah.
and Martinelli,
But
I think.
Saliba's already said that he's at home and he's loving it. He's loving the attention of like the fans. So I think that's going to be a done deal very soon. I think he's very appreciative of the response of the fans and everything like that. So he's come out openly and said that he feels really at home. So that's a positive. You can only take that as a positive and go from there. But yeah, I would say go and buy David Dean's book in the next week if you haven't already, Gooners. Yeah, it's a good read. Apparently, he's not allowed to sell it in the Armoury, which is
is a
very
strange
petty.
one.
Yeah, very petty. So I'm just going to go one quick one here. Nick Hales, how you doing, Nick? Yeah, not sure. I'm sure you've touched on this before. How did you feel when we signed Jesus or Jesus? Early days, of course, but how optimistic are you in his future at his club? Yeah, I'm quite buzzing. I weren't like some people where they're suddenly saying, "Oh, we're just signing City cast off," and you look at it like that, and it was just nice just to see him come in. He wants to play, and he wants to be a big fish, and he's got opportunity to express himself. So yeah, there's definitely a massive player in there, a big player who has already affected certain games, and it's up to us as a unit, I think, to grow and help his style because yeah, it's something that we've missed for a long time is to have a striker that can actually play the way Arteta wants Arsenal to play. So yeah, it's early days, but yeah, I think he could do very well. So yeah, no, really good question, Nick. What about you, Richard?
Yeah, I was over the moon. I mean, you look at what we got Jesus for. 15 million less than Richarlison. Look at what United paid out on some of their attackers over the years. It's a snip. And who's he behind in the charts? Haaland. That tells you what sort of impact he's had. He's dragged us from here to here. That he just by his work effort and the demands and the things he puts in. You'll see. I saw him in the uh, United game and the Brentford game in the circle. He was the one giving the talk, doing the pep. I saw the when we were at the Emirates Cup. Uh, he was organising corners. He was dragging a player back, saying, "No, you come here. You need to be here." Well, so he does a lot more than just. He is like a captain on that field. He's a leader, and when you add in Sinchenko on top of that, you've just improved our quality, doubled it. And again, I think going back to Xhaka, now Xhaka's got quality around him. He's improved his game. Future for a club, yeah. I would love to see us, and I think if we keep adding this type of player, we will be challenging for titles very soon. It's just a case of when, not if. I mean, this season too soon. I think yes, because I don't see, I didn't see past City at the start of the season, and the only question mark about that was would Haaland take time to settle? And the answer to that has been no. He's just a beast, isn't he? And I don't see anyone other than City winning the title this season. It would be a miracle. But I think we can be second and win a couple cups, which
Yeah,
would
well, it's good. It's the optimism there. It's one of those where we're going the right way, and that's all we can. And to say if we can improve in January by picking up a couple other players to kind of complement what we've got and add more competition to what we've got, then it's only going to make us better as a team, and certainly as a whole squad. But yeah, really impressed with what he's brought to the team. But guys, seriously, it's been a really good show. I'm gutted I haven't been able to
get
get
through.
everyone's kind of comments on and discussed, but it goes to show that there is a lot of interaction with these shows. So. No, I really appreciate you watching and being involved. I think we've done nearly 2 hours, Richard.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, with the full start.
yeah.
So
That was a bit
yeah,
funny,
but
wasn't it?
it's been good. Yeah, so we've been live for just over an hour and a half now. But it's look, we could do this. We could do this all night. And yeah, guys, please subscribe to In the North Bank. And what we'll try and do, we'll try and get some kind of other kind of shows where we can just do like a little kind of like questions and answers and just literally just get a lot of people's views, and we can get some real good discussions. With certain topics, because you guys have got some brilliant kind of comments and views, and
Me.
make a show out of just these kind of little spontaneous kind of discussions. So give us a some subscription, and just come join us, and we'll have more shows of the like. But the next time you join us, we'll be discussing the aftermath of the North London derby.
Another win.
So, Richard, have you got a prediction?
I, I was going. I'm going 3-2.
3-2. I don't think my nerves could take that in the stadium. I'll be definitely nipping out for a second pint in the stadium if that's the case. I think I'd like to say 2-0, because I think 2-0 would be very satisfying. Just to have a clean sheet and just beat them. So I'm going to go 2-0. I've just got that. I've got that feeling. I'd say 3-1, but that's normally a good scoreline for Arsenal Tottenham. But
Yeah,
a 2-0 might be quite more pleasing because I want a clean sheet against them because we do owe them. We do owe them a little bit. So but guys, it has been a pleasure. As I say, you're watching Cannon Fodder TV and streaming live with in the North Bank as well. I'm Paul and this is Richard. So thanks Richard for coming on.
Thanks for having us again. It's always a pleasure.
No, all good. Lovely. Well, take care, Gooners. Have a good week and good luck and enjoy the North London Derby.
Come on, you Gooners.